Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show, and we have got somebody very special in studio. We've got Tumiso Sgelem. He is the founder of Rchived X, and we've just been interviewing him about his business. He's in Matric, and he's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur, and he's not just talking about it, he's done it. So this is your product, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me see your product. Right, this is just one of your products.
Yes, sir. Just one.
This is a T-shirt. Okay, and it's got a very interesting vampish motif and some Arabic writing on the back.
Yes, sir.
Right. All right. So my job now is to try and give you some advice. You spoke about tires for pilots, and you spoke about moving into other demographics and to move to older people. My strong advice is to not do that, is to find niches. If you look at successful businesses, that are in a highly competitive environment, and as you know, apparel and clothing is very, very competitive. Everybody loves clothing, especially at your age. And I happened to start a brand when I was 18, called Hump Clothing. And it had a camel on it, and that was my whole thing because I loved this. So I'm there. I never persisted. You seem to have persisted.
Yes.
But the issue is that there are so many people in this industry, and so you've got the passion and maybe you've got the eye. But what you need to find is the deep niche to go after. When you look at successful businesses in competitive environments, they start off at what they call at the periphery of a market, and that then becomes mainstream. So you'll find that most things that we wear today that were at some point, they were on the periphery of the market. They weren't mainstream. And then slowly they get adopted, and then they move more and more into mainstream. So what you need to find is a market that loves this. You called it vamp cross, what is it? Vamp?
It's an archive aesthetic.
Archive aesthetic. What does that mean?
It's a combination of two different aesthetics, one being vamp and the other streetwear.
Streetwear. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So there has to be a market that talks a little niche, that is passionate about this, and they see themselves as differentiating themselves when they're out there with this kind of aesthetic, right?
Yes, sir.
So who would that be? Some people have gone for. This is just an example, the skateboard market. Some people have gone for the hip-hop market. Some people look for these different markets where with a market within a market that you're going looking for those markets within a market. The moment you spread now to different markets too quickly, then that market says, well, anyone can get it. So your potential influencers in that market who want to be different go, well, if you're giving this to everyone, well, why should I wear it? If you're putting this, making it mainstream and easy to find, then why should I wear it? If you have the ability, and this is another suggestion, if you have the ability right now through your contacts to print one T-shirt at a time, you might want to have a series that you say only 10 of these T-shirts are made, and it stops. And you give them a name, a series,
Yes, sir.
0001, 0002, and I've got a 0001, and I've got a 0002, or whatever the case may be. So you create this feeling of exclusivity, and the fact that that there's only 10 people in the world that will have this design. Right? You've thought of that. I can see. Right? All right. So if that's your methodology, then do that. But don't go do that and that and that, because you're going to take away the impetus for any niche market to want to buy, because they want to be special. Those markets want to be special. They want to be seen as special, and you're not making them special.
Yes, sir.
Then coming to, so now coming to the question of, I ask you the question, are you going to get stock in? Well, now the stock amount is that there's only 10, and then this is the size range. It's two of those, one of those, one of those, one of those. Whatever the case may be. It's not 10. I know that's 7, but you'll get 3 more somewhere else. Okay. So what do you need to ensure is that you don't have big stock taking, stock holding, that you don't hold too much stock, because otherwise all your cash is tied up in the stock. And so you're moving these quicker. So now the concept now is throughput. Is I make 10, I move 10. I make 10, I move 10. I make 10 and 10, and I move 10 and 10. I move 10, 10, 10, I move 10, 10. So that means your focus is now on how do you get demand? Because you've got exclusivity, right?
Yes, sir.
You've got that. You've got production. You've got your stock taking levels, right? And now, so the big focus is on how do you create demand. So now, if it's on a billboard, think about that. If I'm in a niche and now it's a mainstream, you actually saying to the niche buyer, well, you're selling to everyone, so why sell to me? So you need to think about, when you're creating demand, how you create demand in a way that makes that person feel special, that they found it, they know where to get it. It's hard to get, and they know where to get it from. And if you've got the right people there, the word of mouth, they will create that. The billboard might sound great, but that's more ego, but it's a bad business because it contradicts with the strategy of being niche. The billboard is not niche, okay?
Yes.
So your marketing has to correlate with that. So I love the fact also that you've got a range, which I think is important, but don't make the range too wide. Keep the range narrow. Don't go for other markets. Keep them, and make sure your marketing is aligned to that market strategy. And that is it, Tumiso. I hope you've taken some notes there in your head.
Yes, sir.
And good luck to you. And I hope to see you on the front page of something.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Well, that's it for the segments. Do stay tuned for what's coming up next.